Hello there, welcome to this video where we're going to be having some fun with blue eyeshadow. If you're wondering what possessed me to think about doing blue eyeshadow, watch my 2024 makeup trend video and you will know why. So today's video is going to be a shorter mini tutorial where I'm going to focus mostly on the eyes, cheeks, and lips, but I'm starting with just my moisturizer and sunscreen on my skin because when I'm working with blue eyeshadow, I feel like there's always that risk of fallout, and blue eyeshadow is one that you really want to make sure you clean up well before applying concealer and foundation. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Now we're going to start off priming the eyelids with the Kohl. This is the Double Time Concealer, and I'm using the shade Light Tan, and I'm going to do the 3-step eyelid priming version here because I feel like the eyelids, I want to make sure that I have disguised all of the veins and discoloration on my eyelid to make sure that the blue really stands out and to make sure we get a nice blend on the edge of the eyeshadow. And then I like to just go over it with a brush. This is the Rare Beauty concealer brush. I just like to do this to pick up any excess product and then allow it to fully set and dry. Going to apply some lip gloss while I wait. This is just a limited edition Buxom lip gloss. I love these for prepping my lips for makeup and lipstick. Okay, I think that's pretty well set. Now for my eyeshadow primer, I'm going to use the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. This is just the clear one. I don't know that they are restocking the one that actually has coverage, which I wish they would because that would save us all a step in priming our lids when we want coverage. Once that is fully set, I'm going to add a little translucent setting powder. This is the Nakia Joy pressed setting powder. And I love using this rougher number 33 brush. Any brush you have will work, but I like that this doesn't add a lot of extra product. And it's a flatter brush, so I'm able to just sweep that all over the lid without making a mess. But this is essential, again, to make sure now that everything blends through the crease. We don't have any stickiness, and this will also be that final layer to make sure we don't have any oils that seep through our eyeshadow. Okay, so for our eyeshadow today, if you saw that video, you will have seen multiple options. So you might already have one of those other palettes in your collection. I went through and I pulled out a relatively newer palette. This came out last year. It's the Unbreakable Bond by Sydney Grace. I love Sydney Grace shadows. And for some reason, this palette really spoke to me, not just because it has, a lot of my favorite pink shadows and coral shades and some nice neutrals, but these blues in here. To me, these are my kind of blues that aren't as scary as an 80s blue. So if you're a little hesitant to jump right into full-on cobalt blue, I feel like these are a safe way to get started. Now, before we jump into that, I usually go along my brow bone with a matte cream shade. You could use this one if you have cooler undertones to your skin, but you can see how this against my eyelid, it presents a little bit more pink toned. And when working with cooler toned eyeshadows, if you have warm undertones to your skin, you want to make sure that under the brow bone and even slightly above the crease, you have something slightly warmer. So I'm going to dip into the HUDA Browns palette. This is the Toffee Brown Obsessions palette because there are 2 shades in here that will demonstrate perfectly what I mean. So this shade right here compared to this one, let's see if I can put it side by side, you can see a pretty stark difference. So again, because I have yellow undertones of my skin and I'm working with a blue eyeshadow, which is cooler, I want to make sure I keep things slightly warm. So I'm gonna go in with the E50 from Sigma into that matte cream shade, and I'm going to put this under the brow. There we go. It's not super stark white up there, but it is still bright and lifted. Now let's go to the Sydney Grace palette. And kind of the easiest way to start with a colorful eye look is actually to go in the crease with something slightly neutral. And I love the combination of kind of peach tones and blue. But for today, I think I'm gonna go in, let's see, I'm gonna keep it a little more neutral to start with. So I am going to dip slightly in here, and then I'm gonna go into, let's go in this shade right here. And I'm using the rougher number 16 brush. And just going to give ourselves something to blend the blue into. So blue eyeshadow or a real bold, colorful eyeshadow, that look can get crazy really fast if you bring the color up too high. So one way to keep from doing that is to start off with something already blended in the crease, so you don't feel like you need to blend up quite as high. Okay, now that we have some definition through the crease, I'm gonna start with the shimmer shade. So this color right here, I think is so stunning. And it's blue, but it has just a hint of some teal tones to it. And I'm gonna show you how you can even kind of personalize it or change it slightly to fit whatever outfit you're wearing or whatever your tastes are. So you can see I am putting this on just the center of the lid. I'm not going all the way to the inner corner, and I'm not going all the way to the outer corner. So I'm going to stop just a little bit before the edge, but making sure to fully saturate that center part of the lid. Okay, this is when the look starts getting scary, but I'm going to continue to encourage you, stick with the process. So next I'm going to go in with this deep dark blue, and I forgot to say that these have names. That first one was Sharalee's Shimmer. This is Indiana Love, and I'm going to just use my pinky and stay well below the crease. So use your pinky, or you can use a very small brush. But this is where you really want to be careful. Go in very slowly. This is not an eye look you do when you have 5 minutes to get out the door, even though I've been known to try it. This is one you definitely want to take your time with and just build slowly, and be sure you're adding your color just in the right kind of areas of the eye. Don't go too far outside the edge here to begin with. Next, I'm going to take this number 26 brush from Rougher. We're going to start with this. I might change my mind later, but this is, you can see it has a pointed tip, slightly fluffy. It's a little bigger than your typical bullet point brush, but I want control over how far I bring this shadow up. So I want it to go to the crease there, the outer crease. And because I have hooded eyes, I'm actually going to create the look of making this look like there is a deeper hollow out here, even though there isn't. So I'm just going to take my time and work that shadow going out this direction, and then feathering it in. And then once I get to this part of the crease, I'm going to wipe off that brush, and I'm actually going to go in with the shade right below that one we used in the crease, which is called Cleveland. Cleveland and Indiana on our eyes today. And I'm just going to blend the edge of that blue into the outer part of the crease. So you can see it's a gradation from blue into kind of this murky grayish brown shade, and then up into our kind of more natural crease shade. And then I'm just going to lightly take that brush through the crease. And then I'm going to go in with a slightly smaller fluffy brush because I want to keep control now as I'm blending. And this is the 01 Mini from Rougher. I'm going to do a combination of Cleveland and Dusty Trails. And I'm going to use this just to blend up and through the crease, the top edge of that blue. If you go in with your huge fluffy brush here, just make sure you're not bringing the blue shade up too high. So you may want to downsize your brush. And then it's just a process of going back and kind of touching up some of the blues on the lid. So I'm going to go, because of the blending we've done, you can start to lose a little bit of the vibrancy of those colorful shadows. So I'm just going to add a little more of our lid shade and then a little more of that dark blue. Now, if you go in with a pink through the crease, it will actually turn that blue kind of more of a purpley color. So that's also another option. Okay, now again, we're just hanging with the process. One more step here. I'm gonna go in with this beautiful shimmer silver. It's called Tiara. And this still has a hint of kind of gray blue tones. And I'm going to overlap that blue on the lid and put this towards the inner corner. I'm not going all the way in because we still need to do concealer, but this is just going to create a gradation of the blue shimmer. And again, I'm going to overlap that blue shade just slightly on the lid. And I'm just tapping, so I'm not fully covering that blue with the silver. We're just creating a nice gradation of tone there. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of eyeliner before we clean everything up, and I'm gonna use the Caliray Surf Proof Easy Glider Eye Definer, and this is the shade The Deep. There's several E's in there. This is a beautiful, beautiful blue shade, and I know a lot of people love this on their waterline, but I have a video coming up all about that, so stay tuned. But I'm just using this right below my lower lash line and smudging it out. If you don't have a blue liner on hand, use your primer and then just go in with that. I would use the outer corner shade we used as your lash line liner. Oh, it's so pretty. That really is a beautiful color. And then on my upper lash line, I'm gonna go in with a dark brown instead of black because I feel like it's just a smidge less harsh. And because we have those brown tones through the crease, it's going to tie in nicely. I'm using the KVD Tattoo Liquid Liner in Mad Max Brown. Now, I am probably going to go over this with a little bit of shadow, we'll see. But I'm really just staying very close to the lash line. I want to create the look of slightly thicker lashes. So that's why I'm doing this right here. So it's not about the liner look right here. Then in the outer corner, I'm going to use this just to give myself a tiny little bit of definition. And because I have green blue eyes, I feel like sometimes a blue shadow right up against the lash line can almost makes the color look washed out. But you can see by just that little extra definition, I just think it creates just a really nice kind of boundary there between the blue and my eye color. Okay, before we clean up under the eyes, I'm going to go in now with that skinny, kind of slightly fluffy brush, and I'm gonna use just a touch of Sharalee shimmer. Whew, that's hard to say. And I'm going to bring this just slightly through the crease. Because I have hooded eyes, I want to make sure that there is just a hint of that blue peeking up. I'm not going up above the crease, just kind of through the crease and just softly blending into the brown eyeshadow. Okay, put down your brushes. We're gonna clean up under the eyes, hang with the process. Don't go wash everything off just yet. I'm gonna clean up under the eyes, apply foundation, concealer, and you're gonna see what a difference just those steps make. looking a little better. You can see I also applied my eyebrows and powdered my face. For blush, I'm going to start off with the Patrick Ta She's So LA. I'm going to go in first with the powder side and apply this. You have probably seen me talk about this blush before as the great kind of neutral blush when I'm wearing a red lip or a very colorful eye. This is one of my favorites to bring in. It adds color to the cheeks. I would say life to the cheeks, but it doesn't detract from the colorful eyeshadow or kind of make the look seem too overwhelming. If you get pink cheeks and bright red lips or bright pink lips and blue eyeshadow, we're back to the 80s, right? So I feel like this is how we update blue eyeshadows, bring it into the 21st century here. All right, and then I think I'm going to just leave it without the cream portion of this for now. And next we're gonna go to the inner corner of the eye. And for me, I always feel like I just need a little brighter inner corner highlight than what is in that Unbreakable Bond palette. So I'm gonna go in with the ABH Sultry palette. You can use whatever your favorite inner corner highlight shade is, but you can see just a difference, I think. And this is the trick to kind of at the end of a smoky eye look or a colorful look. If you feel like it's gotten a little overwhelming, you can bring this shade in further on the lid and just kind of dial back the drama a little bit. Okay, in the crease of the eye, I want to go in with just a little bit of a peachy shade. So right here. So right now it's looking pretty neutral, but I feel like I just want to warm up that crease. And there's another way you can do this. I'll show that in a moment, but I just feel like I'm wanting that little hint of peach instead of just the neutral brown. And then this is when I'm deciding whether I want to bring in just a hint of some peach. Let's do it. Why not? This is a new blush to me. This is the Almay Healthy Hue blush. And this particular shade is so peachy. It's so pretty. I have one of these in a different color and the formula is so nice. It has a little bit of a glow. I'm just going lightly, but I'm going to just kind of tie in that crease color. So that brings a little bit of extra color and warmth to my face. So I feel like that brought in enough warmth through the crease that it's making the blues kind of work on my warmer skin tone. You could also go back if you wanted to keep it more neutral, but just warm it up. You could go in with a yellow tone, just real lightly, but I think I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna curl the lashes, apply mascara, and we'll finish up with the lips. We really need some lips to complete this look, and I'm starting off with the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Iconic Nude. And then my favorite nude lipstick is the MAC Creme de Nude. This has been around forever. And for me, I always need a little bit of gloss with a nude lipstick just to pull it all together. My favorite is the Buxom Lip Polish in Celeste. And here is our finished look. Every time I do a colorful eye look, I think, why don't I do this more often? But it does take a little extra time and patience. So just keep that in mind as you experiment, but I hope that you will try this look with some blue eyeshadow you may have long forgotten in your collection. Be sure you check the description box down below for a list and links to everything that I used in today's video, along with a link to that 2024 makeup trend video in case you missed it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.